one hand is like saving time for collecting and building reports. And the other thing is that if you talk to PR professionals, a lot of them would say that it's very hard to measure their success or their impact, especially if you compare it with social media or paid ads and so on. So they struggle to show their impact, and they're doing a very good job, but when they are at the table with the paid advertisement guys or social media guys, they still lack communicating their results, and that's also something that we help them. So saving time on the one hand and helping to show their impact on the other hand. Making
I'm sorry, I
making
just
yes,
so yeah,
yeah,
but no
making
worries.
plans at the same time, like making plans at the same time, and then working on the project, different parts all together. And I was start smiling or like laughing because I said, if you just would like show this to yourself, your like 2 years ago, yeah, 2 years in the past, it would be just incredible to
Yeah,
see how things improved. And back then, I was like typing and coding every line and maybe use Stack Overflow, and maybe I could start beginning using ChatGPT for some questions, but still was producing all the code. And now, even if there's just like a slight adjustment that you maybe just want to move some UI elements, I'm using Whisper Flow. I don't know if you
no.
know this. Okay, it's so that you can speak, and it can like put it's like replacing your keyboard, so you can like
Oh
click
wow.
wherever you are and just start pressing like this function button on the keyboard, and then start dictating. And yeah, and it's just like, and I think like
And
the IT tech guys, they are really open to try new technologies.
well, some.
So
So it's a good thing you just mentioned that. So my experience, and it's actually part of our transition right now, is obviously we have a lot of developers who now have to transition to this new way of doing things. And so just the other day, I was talking to a customer of ours, long-term client partner actually, and so we concluded that like there are these middleware, like under quotes, he called it middleware positions, which are obsolete in a way right now. So
yeah,
we have situation where a partner of our customer managed to like take a week and migrate the entire platform that we were building for like few years with the 50% of it already migrated to new platform just like using Convex. It's
yeah.
like backend as a service and pop, everything's there. It's crazy. And you're talking just about a time span of 2 years. Just 2 years. And you said like back in the day I had to code each line. Like back in the day it was
Yeah.
like 3 years ago.
And yeah, even if you think about, I think I started using Cursor somewhere like a year ago. Um, and then it had all like this, like there were like a lot of flaws that it was like producing a lot of code, not really looking up if there's like anything, what is already there. And yeah, was like a junior developer on steroids. So I was like producing a lot of code. And now with like the plan mode, or I think even like cloud at the moment is making it like a little bit better to really understand the code base, ask good questions, and produce very good code, have a good idea of the architecture. And what you said is, I think it's very easy to, if you already have something as the structure and just want to say, like, okay, that's an old implementation. I want this like with Next.js and this new tool stack and Redis and I don't know. Then it's like really good to transfer to like new technology.
Yeah.
And then I think it's still that like the current problem still is that the that it's not up to date all the time. That um, you say, okay, I want like for example Next.js, and they create a middleware, but it's not middleware but proxy at the like new Next.js version. But now I see like I think both are starting to always looking up the current version of the documentation, right on like the right page, read it, and then produce the right code. I think so. All like this, I really see a lot of improvements so that the tools are getting better and better. Um, but if you like some people when they are afraid that there's no need for IT guys in the future, I'm not buying this story because still you need to know what you're doing. And yeah, so
That is true. But so here's another thought. I'm definitely not against what you said. It makes sense. But here's like a perspective. So IT became an industry for itself, where originally it was supposed to be a supporting industry for other industries, right?
yeah.
And with the AI, I feel like it's going back where it's supposed to be, you know? So developers are becoming support people for something that will, deliver value to automotive industry, medical industry, and so on and so on and so on. So right now, I think we are cutting this gap between developers being, um, or even development industry itself being industry for itself, so, kind of enclosed into its own purpose and dominion, whereas it's supposed to serve for something else, I feel we're going that way again, which is maybe good, but there's going to be probably a lot of casualties.
Yeah, I think like the what I think like the IT personnel in the future will be like it's I think the human focus is getting well, it's more important to have like good skills to understand the business needs or what the software should do. Because I think
Exactly.
also in the past, if you have like a Scrum team in the past and you had like this weekly sprint meetings and they were like coding something for the whole week and then show it to the department and they said, okay, we don't need this. It was, we expect something totally different. And it was because like you had like this very short time frame and then everyone was busy writing code. And now I think if we can spend more time really understanding what is needed and at the end get much better products. And
Right. I
what I
mean,
think,
yeah, sorry,
yeah,
go
what I
ahead.
think, what was like most inspiring to me, I was like couple of days was thinking about why I choose to become a software engineer. And I think I was always I really like to create things. And for a lot of other business ideas, you need I don't know like a lot of materials or like a lot of stuff to get started. And for IT, you just need a computer
Yeah.
and the ideas. And like if you have a good idea you can create something valuable and find customers and start a company. Um, but then still, like 5 years ago or so, you still were like limited by the amounts of people you that they're working like how many
Yeah.
people you can hire and but what I really like now is with like AI tooling, like one good software developer is maybe as productive as a Scrum team in the past. So you can get out in a very small team, you can get out really good software. And I don't know, I just like this idea that you don't need much to to build something that can be really big at the end.
Yeah. One interesting thing, a friend of mine just the other day said it's like to build a successful product right now, you just need a product person. So you
Yeah,
don't need a coder, you don't need a team of engineers. You need a product person who understands the problem and and software that needs to be built. And then everything else is just, plug and play into the AI ecosystem and bam, 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 you'll deliver
yeah.
it. So, tell me about so yeah, by the way, we skipped over a lot actually. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. So obviously my name is Ivan, CEO co-founder of Blue We are IT consulting firm in cloud infrastructure and cybersecurity. And I have Sascha here with me who founded
Aclipp.
aclipp. I wanted to say aslip. I don't know why. Thanks for that. So yeah, give us something more about yourself and the one thing that I'm mostly interested in, like for you to tell me what's the problem? Where do you start with saying aclipp fixes this and that problem for our customers? So where did you see a place for yourself in the market in terms of like what's the problem you're solving?
Okay, sure. Yeah, thanks for having me. So, yeah, I'm Sascha. I was working for Audi in the past, and I have a computer science background, and then kind of by accident slipped into this PR world. And we discovered like 5 years ago that PR professionals that should have spent their time on like creating stories are not really having the time to do that because they have a lot of um, work around it. And one big part is collecting media outreach that they produced, like reading it, finding out like relevant information, and building reports. And that like for one client, one PR professional spend more than like 1 to 2 days per month just doing this kind of repeatable work each month. And they don't enjoy it. They are not like data-driven people, most of them because they are interested in writing good stories or finding good stories. And that was like our motivation to start it and build a product that give them back time for real value and for their work.
I see. So essentially, you're saving a lot of time around the data intelligence in that sphere, right?
Yeah. So on the one hand is like saving time for collecting and building reports, and the other thing is that if you talk to PR professionals, a lot of them would say that it's very hard to measure their success or their impact, especially if you compare it with social media or paid ads and so on. So they struggle to show the impact, and they're doing a very good job. But when they are at the table with the paid advertisement guys or social media guys, they still lack communicating their results, and that's also something that we help them. So saving time on the one hand and helping to show their impact on the other hand. So that's the uh, both things that we provide.
I see. So how involved are you in onboarding the customer? Is this something that they can plug and play into their system, or you're helping them first making sense of their data before you automate all of this, or how does that go?
Um, So I think one of our selling points is that we really are hands-on and interested in working together with our customers, but we try to prove our platform week by week and make it much easier. And I think a lot of um, AI tool or AI algorithm can help, for example, setting up metrics and tags that will provide insights. So, yeah. But on the other hand, it's like because I'm not a PR guy, original, it's always like very interesting for me to learn more and more about how they work and how we can help them.
Yeah. And what do you think then is the buying trigger when you pitch your product? What is it that you hook them with to either switch? By the way, I didn't ask. So, how does the market currently look like? We, as a company and as an organization, we had like a few situations where we needed help from PR agencies. But like I never really thought about, like the deeper you go into their organization, how many holes are there, and like how does the market looking in terms of your competition, you know?
Yeah. So we there's there, on the one hand, there we have PR agencies as customers, and on the other hand, we have companies. And for PR agencies, it's, I think, a numbers game. So they are selling the reports to the clients, and we are saving them a lot of time, and they can like still charge the same for the reports. So it makes them more profitable, or just like they can spend the time for the right things. So for them, it's like very like the main reason why they decide to use aclipp is this time saving aspect, and maybe the thing the aspect that they need to show their impact to their customers, to say, okay, each month your monthly retainer is, I don't know, like 10,000 euros, and that's what you get from our team. So helping them to provide this like this insights. And for companies, most of the companies, maybe what you also mentioned, they are having agencies and they are doing the work, and they're also doing the reporting and showing you numbers that you most of the people are just trusting. And so there's one thing that companies say, okay, it's fine that we have a PR agency doing the work, but we want to do the reporting and see, like, measure it by ourselves to trust the data. So that's one thing. And you mentioned like what other tools are out there. The like the businesses that are maybe, I think so we have kind of a unique approach that we are very open where data comes from. A lot of other companies, they call it media monitoring solutions or companies. They are, for example, scanning the internet to find articles, or they have contracts with local print outlets, so they are kind of like finding these articles for you, and somehow like presenting them also. You can maybe download a report, something like this, but it's their approach is more like to find articles, but not very to analyze them. Um, and so we are integrating this data, and for a lot of companies, when they are growing and start having not just one PR agency or not just one market, they will get, I don't know, like 5 reports per month from each market with the data. Every agency was doing it their way, and then someone needs to bring all the data together, and most of the time by hand. So for companies, it's also, if they growing and want to have like one solution and one source of truth for their data, then they use our solution.
I see. So, and do you have like a sweet spot in terms of an ICP who's using your services, your product? Who's
Um,
your best buyer, let's say that way?
I think it's um, I think for agencies all of all size, maybe if they are really really big, they sometimes develop something in-house. Um, yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, how
that's
to
that.
compete with that? Is that even feasible nowadays when, like why would you do that if you can just SaaS it?
Yeah, that's a true point. I was like just on a congress last week, and there was like I was discussing this with agencies, and a lot of agencies told me the story. We did in the past couple of in-house projects where we developed a software just for us, just to find out 2 or 3 years later that uh, yeah, spend a lot of money and time, but at the end we stopped it, or we are not using it anymore, and now we're using professional software. And for us as like a platform development, like that's our business. We are constantly improving our product, and we see how much work it is to yeah to do that. So just for us, I think, or for me, it just makes sense to buy uh, the best products and as an agency or as a company start to learn how to use the product as best as possible, and not start reinventing the wheel and do it in-house. I think that's like kind of a general rule. That's I think there are people thinking in-house, making it in-house is better, but I think 1 or 2 years later, they when we talk to them again, they will tell the same story that it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. We had this like 7 ago, maybe less, something like that. We were building HR system in-house, and then we just decided to go with Bamboo HR. So, and this is not a paid ad.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially what you want to do is you want to focus on what you do best and, problems that you solve for your customers, and then just in-source people and tools that you need to be efficient in it. And that's it. So, yeah, what's like um, the typical features that your customers may be requesting and your competition maybe does not have? We see this in our business from time to time when we build something for our customer, and then they come with a list of additional features periodically that are a differentiator between their idea and their competitor's idea. So now we have to catch up delivering these features so that our customer can have an upper hand in the sales process. So is this something that's same for your business as well? How much does it depend on number of features?
Mm, I think because maybe because PR isn't like this big hot topic in the last, I don't know, 10 to 20 years. There are a lot of solutions out there that are not really improving. So we just try to do like to like every feature that we build, we are thinking about, is this like saving time for PR professionals? Is this really helping them? Um,
Yeah,
and
well,
think
that's what I'm interested in. Like, how do you measure? Are you helping your customers with these features? Are you focusing on what they think they need or what they know they need? How does this process look like in your perspective?
it's we get constant feedback from, or we constantly ask our user base for feedback. Um, But to be honest, a lot of times we were asking them, they're just saying, I was like doing all this by hand in the past. I was like filling out spreadsheets and it's already perfect. And then we said, okay,
Sure, it
it
is.
can't be it can't be it's that's nice to hear, but that's not our like mindset. And then we kind of we we just like we talk to a couple of our customers, and just a lot of the ideas or things that we are implementing is by observing how they use our software or what they are telling us, then go back, think about what can we improve, um, yeah, draft like a feature that we are thinking about implementing, and then talk to the customers again and say, we were just thinking about one thing, like for example, you can set up this custom metrics, and this metrics, it will be auto-filled by AI. So every metric has a description. There are multiple metric types that you can define, like a single select, a number metric, and so on. And for analytic personnel, it's like very straightforward to create a metric, but not for everyone. And so we saw a lot of people, they are maybe not using this feature as often, or they just feel kind of overwhelmed to create their first metric or to add one. So we just came up with like a dialogue where add you can like select some of the PR goals and how you want to structure your data, um, give some context, and then we auto suggest or auto create metrics and tags for them, and then they see like our suggestions, read through this, and just click on, okay, I like this metric, I like this tag, and that was something we observed it. We got like questions, and people were like just like gave yeah, kind of gave the feedback, not directly that they want this feature, but we see that they were struggling with it. And at the end, it's because like this time saving. To yeah, we can measure it. If you create one metric by hand, it maybe takes 4 minutes for someone who is doing it like regular. Um, and if you do like a basic setup for customers, it's like maybe 5 metrics, something like this. So it's like 20 minutes setup time. And now it's like 2 or 3 minutes with like this AI suggestions. So it's like 17 minutes saved on this side.
Are you
Um,
benefiting maybe from some sort of like internal reporting system that will tell you like how it's called like a hotjar for the app inside? Do you maybe do something like that? I'm going completely unscripted here, but I know it's valuable to know how your
yeah.
customers are using your app, you know.
we, we, we so we use basic web tracking things to more to see what kind of features they are engaging with. But like
Exactly.
this number game, what I, for example, just said about like, do we should we develop this feature or not? That's something we ask people what how long does it take, or we measure it when I'm in a call with a customer and he's doing it. I'm just like kind of taking notes and see how long it takes, and then we think about how to yeah, how to save this time.
Yeah. Okay. What
And the other
about
thing, what you
yeah.
said, like with our competitors, um, because I think they are more corporate and bigger, they kind of by definition are slower than us. And for example, with like this AI features, we never so we were looking for investment. So we are not pitching AI to get an investment and just doing features, AI features because we have to do it. But we really want to use AI just when it makes sense. And a lot of our competitors, they were doing AI features. People tried it out one time and they were disappointed because it was like trivial, like very obvious what the results are, or just not very good implemented. And that's, I don't know, we got the feeling kind of like everyone needs to have some AI features just to tell the story that we use AI, but they're not really helping the people. And then for us, it doesn't make sense to do something that's just to get this label. We are using AI just writes
Yeah.
nonsense features.
Yeah, I totally agree. It feels like it's a marketing ploy. Again, as back in the day, it was, I mean, back in the day, just recently, technically speaking, it was like blockchain. So everything was blockchain. Now
Yeah,
everything is AI. So even though your AI doesn't really help your end customer, it's just, it's like a keyword for you to like maybe be able to pitch to a proper investor, maybe get
yeah,
away with it for some time. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. By the way, yeah, let's chat about AI. We had an intro about AI at the very beginning, but so in your industry, how much does AI really put you ahead of your competition? And how do you feel about the let's call it AI revolution? Because essentially it does change. It's changing every day, it's changing a lot. So how do you feel about it? How do you see your product aligned with it in the near future?
yeah. So I think like um, PR is something that you need to improve and like um, have kind of like a circle in your mind, like the process of writing stories or this pitches, send them out to reporters, to outlets, and then measure the results and learn from it for the next time. So I think like this, our part, the measuring part and analyzing part, is essential. And as I said, like earlier, like maybe the last 10 to 20 years, PR wasn't like this big hot topic, but I think of it's changing because more of the AI search engines using high quality outlets for their results. So if you ask ChatGPT what is the best, I don't know, headset at the moment, it makes sense to have a good outlet writing about your headset and getting like this PR story out. So I think it's something that is getting more and more relevant. And for the industry itself, I think there's a lot of things that could be improved, and that is like still very like time consuming for PR professionals. And I think the biggest value is that they have this personal relationship to reporter and giving them also like time back to talk to the reporter, like to the outlets, hear about what is important for them, what kind of story they need in the future, to just give back time that they can do this people business. Yeah, I think that's something. There's
Yeah.
a lot of potential to improve this.
Yeah, cool. You mentioned positioning yourself to be recognized by ChatGPT, let's say, as a like authority in certain topic. So, do you think a lot has changed in SEO world because of this?
I'm not like 100, not really a SEO expert, but we were like, I think when we talk to clients or just like do some research by ourselves, it's interesting that um, like Google search results and what is like Gemini or ChatGPT is returning, it's different. And I think like more relevant for the real customer at the end are ChatGPT's results or Gemini results. So, and I think it's also like it's a trend that like that Google's search is not growing anymore and needs to change. And I think also like the user experience for Google, it was getting worse and worse. If you look for something and like the first 10 results are just paid
Yeah.
results. Yeah, it's not user focused. I think like the current experience is not very user focused anymore. Um, and also like to when I'm not interested in spending a lot of time making decision by myself and read 10 articles, but just want, I don't know, I want the present for keep like this headset thing. I want to need a present in for a friend. It may be just more convenient and faster to ask ChatGPT for a good advice for, I don't know, like a headset for 100 euros, for example, than doing all the research with Google by hand.
Makes sense. Makes sense. A funny thing you should mention, I was just looking these days for wired headphones, and I'm
Yeah.
still like looking for a good ones. I wanna remove as much as possible, like the Bluetooth around my head. So even right now, this is going to be obsolete
Yeah.
technology soon, I feel. So yeah, I'm looking for a good wired headphones these days, and if you have suggestion, please let me know.
Yeah, not really yet, but also you go with the newest trend because I think like wired headsets are like for the young generation. I see more and more people with like the traditional
Yes.
AirPods, for example, or like not AirPods. Well, I don't how they
I think it's called earpods. It's
earpods.
with
Yeah,
wires, right? The same thing, only with wires, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, tell me about like one of the, let's not call it case study, but like a success story with one of your customers, like after which you and the team went to have like a crazy party that day.
Well, we are not, I think maybe not the biggest party animals. And I don't know, that's something like when I think about like the last 5 years, that you have like goals, and whenever you reach a goal, it's kind of you already set the next one. So what is like really like nice and good moments is when we talk to customers and they just telling us how much time we saved them, or how much more fun it is to do like this reporting. So I think that's like the that just makes us happy, and yeah, it's a good feeling. And then there's like some I think this data driven approach, that's still something. It's like the idea is growing in the industry at the moment, but there are people like our customers talking to us and say, okay, we recognized we were doing these pitches with like dark images and more brighter images, and we see based because we use aclipp that the brighter images are much more likely to getting used, and then at the end that the article will just be printed because of the brighter images, and that's something we learned by constantly measuring our clippings. That's something that just makes us happy to see. Okay, it has a real benefit or real impact on the brand, and we help the brands to get their stories out.
That's exactly it. That's awesome. So yeah, the technology as a tool is like bringing you the results of why are you there after all, and that's like helping someone, and seeing the results firsthand, like you helped someone in their reaction, and it's just you're feeding off
Yeah,
of it essentially. Yeah.
and the clipping or like the article is the last step of the work, so it's their success. And yeah, I just had a customer call a couple of hours ago earlier, and we were like setting up aclipp and setting up integrations, and the first clippings were like running into the our platform, and she was like, "Oh, there's the first one. Oh, there's the next one. Oh, I have to talk to my. I will tell my colleague that the first clippings are coming in, and just like to see that they are happy, because it's yeah, that's their goal, their success, to get this coverage. So that's very nice.
Exactly. And you're being a part of it, so you're
Yeah.
sharing all that with them. Yeah.
And
S-
what I also like is like having like brands that I can identify with. So I love sports. I live in Innsbruck, do a lot of outdoor activities. And when you have like an outdoor brand as your customer, and
oh yeah.
you see what they're doing, and I don't know, that's just very nice. Yeah, having like also like a personal relationship with the brand.
Yeah, totally. So what's happening next 5 years? Like what's the goal? Where you are at?
I For us, because we're still like kind of the underdogs, and like a small company compared to like the big companies out there. I think it's we will try to get as much innovation in this industry, and try to become bigger and bigger and more relevant, and also kind of like getting like the dust off of PR, because it's like I think it's a very good tool for your marketing mix, because it's if you do it, it's for free, or like you don't have to pay for an article. All you have to do is getting like this process efficient, that the time you spend to get an article um, is getting better and better, and then you get like free coverage, you get your message out. Yeah, it's yeah, that's something we can work on in the next 5 years to make it easier and better for our customers.
That's awesome, and I'm rooting for you. So I hope you get there sooner than later. Um, cool. But by the way, so I'm listening to everything here, and I'm just imagining. I'm not putting any thoughts in your head, but it sounds like you may be pretty close and like bridging the end customer towards what you do, you know? Don't you think so? It's like PR agencies are using your product to, to deliver value to their end customer, but like you're able to do that directly, no?
Yeah. So to be honest, like when we started, because we were um, at the beginning, we were talking to PR agencies. It's also what you said earlier. You also did PR, but you never thought about like this reporting process because it was like yeah done by the agency. Um, so that's why that was our starting point, and then we there was like the first brand talking to us, and then we saw okay that makes also sense, and then we kind of switched and or we live like we talked to both sides, and I'm like pretty happy with agencies as a customer because they really know the business or they know the pain um, and we can save them time, but we also really enjoy working with the brands directly. So, but you're right, and also what I heard from PR agencies or like from agency in general that there are more and more companies saying, okay, we can maybe do it in-house again. I think maybe it's also like waves that there was a time where we outsourced everything and now we kind of like see if we can insource stuff. So and I think as a company to in-house PR completely from a PR agency, that could be kind of hard because you don't have the person like the relationship to the reporters. You have to like they need to grow. Um, but to start with like PR measurement and evaluation in-house, I think that's a valid and good starting point, and every company should or like can start with it. So yeah, I think that's you're right that we are like closing the gap and make it easier and easier for the companies to get started.
I don't know if you're like an introvert or extrovert person, but I myself, I'm an introvert, so it really takes like a lot of push for me to start doing this.
Yeah.
And the moment I started doing this, it actually opened, I'm not gonna say opened some like new doors and stuff, but it connected me to some people that I can, get some good ideas and like new perspective on things, and it's valuable. So if it comes natural to you, you don't have to invest too much energy into connecting and meeting people and doing podcasts. That's awesome. If you're an introvert, well then
Hmm.
it is what it is. You have to invest. So
And things like so I really enjoy getting to know other people. So that's why I'm yeah, for me it's really fun to talk to new people. Um, so I think for that reason uh, won't be hard to be more often like on a podcast. And also what you said, if you're not good at something, you just need to do it. And like my belief is that whatever you really want to do, you can reach the goal, you can do it. Um,
I got a perfect book for you, by the way. It's called Reality Transurfing. It's
okay,
it's
can you
reality, yeah, reality
reality
transurfing.
friend
Um,
surfing?
it's weird book. It's actually consisting of 4 or 5 books or one big. I'm not sure. You'll find both formats. It's not really a book that you would expect in terms of like, so this is These are the problems. You can fix them like this. So it's not even a um, yeah, it's weird. It's supposed to drive your mindset towards what you just now said. Like if you really know what you want and if you really want it and if you focus on it, it's gonna happen. So it's the whole philosophy around that.
Yeah.
Um, it has some really weird points of view. It's a weird book, but it really gets you there. It helps you get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommended. It was recommended to me by very successful people, and I'm like, okay, these guys are recommending this to me. I have to give it a go. And it was really weird while I was reading it. Um, but I get it now. It's actually about like setting up the mindset properly. So you don't even have to look at it as a list of like literal things for you to do. It's just the mindset and it's just you have to fix yourself somewhere within, you know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a list of literal tools, but it's just the mindset and the whole you'll see. You'll see.
Sounds awesome, and it really sounds like books that I use, like that I read, because I think I read like one book a month with topics like a topic like
mhm.
this. Um, and yeah, what you said, I was uh, because that's something I'm like repeating to friends over and over again that you can influence your thoughts, and positive thoughts equals a yeah, positive, nice life,
Yeah.
and feeling lucky and fulfilled. And that's something you can, because yeah, it's with friends. I think most of my friends, they are all like very positive people, because I just like people like this. And the other things
Yeah.
like maybe I just that's for things that you, well, I think your internal belief system, that's something that is like keeping you where you are. And if you just for example, sometimes if you want something, just ask for it. And maybe it's like I sometimes get the feeling that it's maybe kind of too much to ask, or like odd maybe to ask. But if you ask it and then like can live with like a 3 second pause, you get it. And that's I'm just also I don't know who's doing sales for Blue Grid, because I we had like another sales personnel in aclipp, but I'm doing sales now more, and just sometimes to say something and just like leave it there, and people will like respond because they don't like a pause, or
Yeah.
I don't
Awkward
know.
silence. Silence. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like for example, we had a free version until a couple of months. And then I was like talking to a sales consultant, and he said, "Why do you have this free product of this free tier?" And we said, "Yeah, because we want to make it very easy to get started, and when they start using our tool, they will become a paying customer." And he said, "How good is it working?" Like, not really good. He said, "Yeah, get rid of it. If someone is like really feeling this as a problem, or like really want to fix it, they will have no problem to spend 100 euros for like the cheapest license to just test it out." Yeah, and then you are in the first sales call, people asking, "Is there a free trial?" And you said, "No, it's not. You have to pay 100 euros if you're like really interested. It shouldn't be, it's not a super big commitment." But we're not doing it anymore because we just want to have customers that are really um, willing to fix it and work on it. And then they say, "Okay, yeah, fine." And then they take the credit card and get their
Interesting.
license.
Interesting. So they are not taking advantage of the free trial. For me, it's kind of important thing. I don't mind paying, but I need to first know that it's going to fix my problem, right?
Yeah. So what we do is like a demo and show in the
Mhm.
demo what we can do. But then in the past, when we did like this free trial, um, they were creating an account. Maybe they were uploading 3 clippings or so. But then, like live and then other work topics. And I, like the sales team, we were like contacting them every week. You're running behind the like yeah, to try to make them to real customers. You're talking to them 1,000 times, and at the end, a lot of them kind of like at the end ghosting us.
Huh.
And with like at this moment, because maybe it's also still like the curiosity that they say, okay, um, I haven't seen the product. I need to spend 100 euros for testing it. That they, yeah,
So they're
it's
committing.
working better for us now.
It's essentially that they are committing. When they paid, they have to test it and use it. If they don't, then the commitment is lower and incentive is just lower. And yeah.
And maybe it's
Hmm.
also like a psychological thing that if you decided to buy something and you're maybe not 100% satisfied with what you get, because maybe you still like in our software, you have to uh, improve your setup. Because you spend 100 euros, I think in your brain, they are more committed to,
That's what I'm saying. That's
yeah,
exactly what I'm saying. So they paid and now they're committed to use what, to
yeah,
what they paid for. The more you pay, the bigger the incentive is for you to actually use it. So
yeah, exactly. And at the end, to be honest, we kind of help them also because they are not
exactly.
wasting our time. We are not wasting their time. And yeah, but it was like very interesting. Like we never thought about it. Then someone came and said, let's try it and it will work. And it worked.
The sales consultant, you said that's someone who's consulting you on how to position your packaging, I guess. And
Yeah,
is it?
he's a cold, also he has a cold calling agency in
Mhm.
Germany.
Mm.
And so I get a lot of, you probably too get a lot of cold calls,
Yeah.
and most of them I like let them finish their first sentence, and I don't like them, and I just hang up. And like this guy, he was like was one of his like, guys from his team. It was so nice that it really he got my attention because he was just different than anyone else, and they're selling cold calling.
Mhm.
And so then we were keep in contact, and he wants to do cold calling for us. But then I explained a few things why it's maybe not the right timing at the moment. At the moment, I'm just like focusing on like streamlining the sales process. Because I said when I will get like 10 demo calls from you each week, the sales process needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why he was also like talking and giving advice. And I think I have a call with him next week where I show him something like what I did, and he's giving feedback because I said as we can start when I have the feeling that everything else is working at our side. How do you find customers?
It's like outreach, relationship building, referrals. Yeah. Well, in service industry, it's always high ticket sales, so you can't really rely too much on marketing. So what marketing
Yep.
does for us is it establishes authority, and then when you approach someone, you have a backstory that will kind of, prove that you do what you do, you know what you say, and you have customers who can like, speak for the quality. So yeah, outreach, cold calling, emails, not so much. LinkedIn is good. Conferences are good to establish a relationship, but then you have to maintain it.
Yeah.
And you don't go to conference unless you pre-book the meetings. So yeah, that's what
It
works.
was like Web Summit for us. We were just
Yeah.
talking to PR agencies or PR professionals. I wasn't attending any talk. I was the first day I was just outside talking to people all day. Never been
Yeah.
inside. That was and when because you said like you do LinkedIn. Do you use like automation for LinkedIn or
When I engage with an agency who can help me with outreach, they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Even right now, I have someone doing that. But when I do that myself, because I'm involved in sales process heavily, and
Mm-hmm.
so I do it on more personal notes. I approach to people. I do like a research, and I come with, tangible understanding of their backstory. I don't like to do, hey, I saw your post on this and that topic. Let me sell you something.
Yeah.
It's stupid, right? So, but
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of
I don't do
emails.
automation. Say what?
Yeah, a lot of the automation in emails, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we are seeing you are like now in the PR world. Exciting. We are a tech company for like we find the perfect whatever. And it's like always like it's I can you can read the prompt
Yeah.
that they're using. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So if anything is on like screaming for a change, it's sales industry. They have huge opportunity. Like in tech markets today, everyone's competing with everyone. It's really hard to sell because we are again back on that in that place where buyers typically know what they want. They just do the research and find it themselves, right? So
yeah,
I feel like we are already again actually in that place, and sales is always behind. And when I say sales industry, I mean all these services that they're doing, outreach, doing automation for like LinkedIn and whatnot, et cetera, et cetera. And they're always behind. They're for some reason they have issues keeping track of what buyers like to hear when you approach them. It's not automated message that says, "Oh, I see you are in PR world, and let me sell you something."
yeah.
I'm just gonna delete that email. So, but when I see that you saw a problem that I have, and you're not guaranteeing even results, but you're saying, "I think we can help you," it's like, I would like to pitch, but it's up to you if it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I like to hear that because it's opening for a conversation. It's not promising crazy results. It's like we promise 17% increase or 17, 18, whatever number of meetings per week. I'm like,
I
man,
was when I like earlier said that you should buy like a software that is like best in doing it. I was like kind of well, I didn't apply it to me because I think like 2 weeks ago I started to write some automations, some LinkedIn automations because I wasn't like I knew like a couple of the tools like what is it Phantom Busters or like this Chrome extension stuff and yeah and I just didn't like it and now I'm like was like I built my LinkedIn tool um, by myself and I was like
yeah,
showing it yesterday to a friend and she said okay I can sell that too like okay now it's like I think it's we need to keep it under the hood or I don't know how it kind of also like will change how LinkedIn is like what is like the place for LinkedIn in the future when there's like more and more maybe generated con stuff. But for me, it's not really. I still so what my tool is doing is it's finding prospects or like potential prospects and score them with AI so that I don't need to read through a lot of profiles. So I get like the best matches. That's the first thing. And we are not connected at this time. So that's like potential prospects. And
hmm
then I do like liking comments, like liking posts. And then if there's like a relevant topic, it will show me that I can do a comment, and then I look into the post. I have like a recommendation for comments, and then I do like commenting, and like this process like of liking, commenting, make a comment, and then set an invite.
yeah.
That's something that I automated, and also because I like to measure, maybe because I was like talking to our tech team, and they said, okay, but you still need like this writing 3 to 5 comments a day or like 10. It still takes time. It's like, yeah, it's true. It's maybe like 2 3 minutes per comment. They said, yeah, maybe just like try just to like post, because then you can fully automate it. That's something interesting. And at the end, when I send an invite, just scanning who's like accepting the invite,
Hmm.
and then there starts like a message campaign with like I'm like trying 3 campaigns at the time. The first one is I'm doing a PR survey. These are three like 3 questions. Please, okay, like, feel free to answer me directly. And it's like, uh, how much time do you spend for like collecting clippings and making reports? What tools do you use? Are you doing PR analytics for presenting the results, or for strategic things, or for both? And people are answering like answering
Yeah.
like first is this like the other thing is just one question out of the survey, because I got like feedback from friends that said, okay, 3 questions is too much. And the third is kind of what you said, like I'm asking them, how do you do like this PR measurement?
Yeah.
And the fun thing, the best performing at the moment is the survey with three questions.
Huh.
It's the thing where the most people are replying to.
When I consult with salespeople, they usually tell me, and I totally see this. Like if I want to research someone for like a service I want to buy from them, I want to confirm this authority. And the same goes with social networks. If I want to check you out, I wanna make sure that after you send a request, I want to make sure that you really understand what I'm talking about on LinkedIn, so everyone can like. So like automation on like it's easy, but it
Yeah,
doesn't bring value because it's easy. What does bring value is
comments.
engaging, exactly, engaging in conversation with meaningful stuff.
Yeah,
Not like, yeah, I agree, but like provoking conversation.
yeah,
That's what really. And then after that, when you send connection requests, it's like 90% on.
yeah. That's something we also like see in the data at the moment. I just like I started like 2 weeks ago. Is that when I was like writing a comment and then sent them an invitation, it's I think the acceptance rate is like nearly 100%.
It makes sense.
Uh,
I mean, look at it like this way. So, and we need to keep reminding ourselves of this. AI is there to automate
yeah,
stuff, right? It does not supposed to be you. It's supposed to
yeah.
help you to be efficient. So if AI writes a comment in your behalf, you better pray it's actually what you would want to say and it
Would say,
understands.
yeah, true.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just an empty automated scripted stuff. It's,
Yeah,
I don't know. It depends on the topic, of course, but I mean, you're supposed to be out there, you're supposed to be engaging in meaningful conversation. That's normal,
yeah,
that's what we're supposed to do. AI is supposed to cook our lunch. you
yeah.
know
It's true.
yeah.
And I think that's maybe something that LinkedIn, as like a closing thing that LinkedIn should keep in mind, because the platform is the worst platform for like how to use it. The the chats are it's just horrible, and it's not improving over years. It's so hard to keep track about like the chats and
Yeah.
who how to reply.
Search is
I'm
horrible.
Yeah, I'm getting flooded with nonsense posts. Everyone is like posting stuff that is not relevant. And what like the process is helping me is to find relevant posts, relevant people, and then engage and have like, yeah, what you said, have like this human touch and have time for doing it, and not, yeah, doing all like this.
That's where the value lies in like you being you and be authentic, build relationships. So AI is just supposed to be there as a support for you. Companies like myself, if you need PR services, you don't want to play, you don't want to pay PR agency, aclipp.com. And if you're an agency, you want to save yourself some time, again, aclipp.com.
Perfect.
Cool. Thanks so much.